What if the ancient world held secrets so profound, so mysterious, that even today they defy explanation? Scattered across the globe, colossal stone structures stand as silent witnesses to a time long forgotten. From the towering stones of Stonehenge, perfectly aligned with the solstices, to the enigmatic carvings of Göbekli Tepe, these megalithic sites whisper stories of a past we can only begin to understand. Who were the people behind these monumental creations? What drove them to carve, lift, and arrange these massive stones with such precision and purpose? And why do these sites, separated by vast distances, share uncanny similarities? In this journey, we'll uncover the forgotten tales behind these ancient wonders, exploring the theories that seek to explain their origins and the cultural significance that has endured for millennia. Together, we'll step into the shadows of history, where the lines between myth and reality blur, and where every stone holds a story waiting to be told. This isn't just a trip through time. It's an invitation to unravel the mysteries of the past and discover what these ancient sites might reveal about humanity's earliest chapters. So, are you ready to explore the secrets hidden in stone? Stretching across the globe from the windswept plains of Europe to the lush jungles of Southeast Asia, megalithic sites stand as silent witnesses to humanity's ancient ingenuity. These colossal stone structures, some weighing hundreds of tons, were erected thousands of years ago by cultures separated by vast distances, yet they share striking similarities. How did societies with no shared language or connection create such eerily parallel monuments? It's a question that continues to puzzle historians and archaeologists alike. Take, for example, the towering menhirs of Carnac in France, where over 3,000 standing stones stretch across the landscape in precise alignments. On the other side of the world, in Indonesia, the mysterious Gunung Padang site reveals layers of massive stone terraces, hinting at a sophisticated understanding of engineering. Even more intriguing is the fact that these sites often share common design elements: circles, alignments, and carefully arranged stones that seem to echo a universal human impulse. But what drove these ancient builders to undertake such monumental tasks? Some researchers suggest these sites served as astronomical observatories, their alignments pointing to celestial events like solstices or equinoxes. Others propose they were sacred spaces, used for rituals or as burial grounds for the elite. The truth may lie somewhere in between, as these sites likely held multiple layers of meaning for the cultures that created them. What's truly astonishing, though, is the sheer effort required to construct these monuments. Without the benefit of modern tools or machinery, ancient builders quarried, transported, and precisely positioned massive stones, some weighing as much as 50 tons or more. How did they achieve such feats? Theories range from the use of wooden rollers and sledges to ingenious systems of levers and ramps. Yet, even with these explanations, the scale of their ambition remains awe-inspiring. As we marvel at these ancient achievements, it's impossible not to wonder what these sites meant to the people who built them. Were they symbols of power, expressions of faith, or perhaps a way to connect with the cosmos? The answers may be lost to time, but the cultural significance of these megalithic wonders continues to resonate, offering us a glimpse into the shared human desire to leave a lasting mark on the world. And that's a thread we'll unravel further as we explore the deeper meanings behind these ancient marvels. For ancient societies, megalithic sites were far more than just physical structures. They were the heartbeats of culture, spirituality, and community. These colossal stones, carefully arranged and often aligned with celestial events, held profound significance for the people who built them. They weren't just monuments, they were meeting places, sacred spaces, and symbols of unity. Imagine standing among the towering Carnac stones in France, over 3,000 of them stretching across the landscape like silent sentinels. These stones weren't placed randomly, they were part of a larger cosmic design, possibly serving as a calendar or a site for rituals that connected the community to the cycles of nature. Similarly, the Moai of Easter Island, with their enigmatic gazes, are thought to have represented ancestors or deities, embodying the spiritual connection between the living and the divine. These sites were more than just markers of territory. They were expressions of identity, belief, and collective memory. What stories did these stones hold for the people who built them? How did they shape the way ancient societies understood their place in the world? For many communities, these structures were a way to honor the past, celebrate the present, and ensure the future. They were places where generations gathered, where traditions were passed down, and where the boundaries between the earthly and the sacred blurred. The sheer effort required to create these sites, moving stones weighing tons without modern tools, speaks to their importance. It wasn't just about the physical labor, it was about the shared purpose, the communal effort, and the belief that these stones held power beyond their size. As we marvel at the cultural and spiritual significance of these sites, it's impossible not to wonder about the minds behind their creation. What drove these ancient engineers to dream so boldly and build so precisely? That's a question we'll explore next as we dive into the incredible engineering feats that brought these megaliths to life. One of the most baffling aspects of ancient megalithic sites is the sheer scale of engineering prowess they display. Picture this: massive stone blocks, some weighing hundreds of tons, quarried from distant locations, transported across rugged terrain, and fitted together with such precision that not even a sheet of paper can slide between them. How did ancient builders achieve this without the technology we have today? Take Puma Punku in Bolivia, for example. This site is a masterpiece of precision engineering, where stones were cut with such exactness that their edges and angles align perfectly, as if crafted by laser-guided tools. Yet, these structures date back thousands of years, long before modern machinery existed. Similarly, at Sacsayhuaman in Peru, the interlocking stone blocks are so meticulously shaped that they fit together like a giant, three-dimensional puzzle. These stones are not only massive but also irregular in shape, making their precision even more astonishing. So, how did they do it? Experts suggest a combination of ingenuity, trial and error, and possibly tools we've yet to fully understand. Some theorize that ancient builders used copper and bronze tools, along with sand and water, to slowly carve and shape the stones. Others point to the use of wooden sledges, ramps, and even counterweights to transport and lift these colossal blocks into place. While we may never know the full extent of their methods, one thing is clear: the builders of these sites were master engineers far ahead of their time. But the story doesn't end with the stones themselves. These sites weren't just feats of engineering, they were also deeply connected to the cosmos. The next layer of mystery lies in how these ancient builders aligned their structures with the stars and celestial events, hinting at a profound understanding of the heavens. One of the most fascinating aspects of ancient megalithic sites is their connection to the heavens. Many of these mysterious structures were built with astonishing precision, aligning perfectly with celestial events like solstices, equinoxes, and even the movements of the moon. These alignments weren't accidental, they were deliberate, hinting at a deep understanding of astronomy long before the invention of modern tools. Take Newgrange in Ireland, for example. This massive stone tomb, older than both Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza, was designed so that during the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, a narrow beam of sunlight would pierce through a specially constructed opening, flooding the inner chamber with light. This breathtaking moment wasn't just a stroke of architectural brilliance. It was a carefully planned event, likely tied to rituals, timekeeping, or even spiritual beliefs. The question is, how did ancient builders achieve such precision without the technology we have today? And Newgrange isn't alone. Across the globe, from the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of Machu Picchu, megalithic sites seem to echo this celestial connection. Could these structures have served as ancient observatories or calendars, helping early societies track the seasons, predict agricultural cycles, or mark significant celestial events? The evidence suggests a level of sophistication that challenges our assumptions about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. But why did these alignments matter so much? For many ancient cultures, the movement of the sun, moon, and stars wasn't just science. It was deeply tied to their worldview. The heavens were seen as a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a way to connect with gods, ancestors, or the forces of nature. By aligning their monuments with the cosmos, these societies may have been seeking to harness or honor those celestial powers. As we marvel at these alignments, it's impossible not to wonder what stories, myths, or legends might have been born from these celestial connections. Many of these sites are steeped in folklore, with tales of gods, heroes, and magical events tied to their stones. These stories add another layer of mystery, suggesting that the celestial alignments weren't just practical. They were deeply symbolic, woven into the very fabric of ancient belief systems. Megalithic sites have always been shrouded in mystery, and the myths surrounding them are as captivating as the stones themselves. Take Stonehenge, for example. For centuries, stories have circulated about giants who supposedly carried these massive stones across the landscape, stacking them with ease. These tales weren't just whimsical explanations, they reflected the awe and wonder people felt when confronted with something so monumental, so seemingly impossible. Giants, in a way, became a symbol of the extraordinary, a way to make sense of the unimaginable. Then there are the Carnac stones in France, where local legends speak of a Roman army turned to stone by the wizard Merlin. This myth isn't just a fanciful story, it's a glimpse into how people of the past tried to explain the inexplicable. The sheer scale and precision of these stones made them seem otherworldly, and the myths that grew around them often carried deeper meanings. They weren't just about the stones themselves, but about the values and fears of the cultures that told these stories. Giants, wizards, and curses. These were ways to connect the physical world with the supernatural, to give meaning to the unknown. Modern interpretations of these myths have shaped how we see these sites today. Some see them as portals to ancient wisdom or energy centers, while others view them as monuments to lost technologies or alien contact. These interpretations, though often speculative, show how megalithic sites continue to fascinate us. They spark our imagination, urging us to look beyond the stones and into the stories they've inspired. And yet, beneath the myths lies a deeper truth. These structures were built by real people, with real beliefs and motivations. As we peel back the layers of legend, we begin to uncover the forgotten civilizations that created these marvels. Who were they? What drove them to move and shape these massive stones with such precision? The answers lie not in the myths themselves, but in the lives and cultures of the people who left these enduring marks on the landscape. Who are the people behind these awe-inspiring megalithic structures? The truth is, we don't know as much as we'd like to. These ancient builders left behind towering stone monuments, intricate carvings, and alignments that seem to defy explanation, but they left very little of themselves. From the Neolithic farmers who erected the massive stones of Carnac in France to the enigmatic architects of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, their identities remain shrouded in mystery. These societies didn't leave us written records or detailed artifacts. Instead, they gave us silent, enduring testaments to their ingenuity and vision. Take Gerbikli Tepe, for example. This site, dating back more than 11,000 years, is one of the oldest known megalithic structures in the world. But who were the people who built it? Archaeologists have uncovered intricate carvings of animals and abstract symbols. but no clear evidence of a settled community or even a permanent population. It's as if they came together for a purpose, perhaps spiritual, perhaps ceremonial, and then vanished into the mists of time. What drove them to carve and arrange these stones with such precision? What fears or beliefs compelled them to create something so monumental? The story is similar across the globe. In Europe, the megalithic builders of sites like Stonehenge or Newgrange were part of a larger Neolithic culture, but we know very little about their daily lives. Were they farmers, priests, or warriors? Did they see themselves as part of a unified civilization, or were they isolated groups with shared traditions? The answers are elusive, buried beneath layers of soil and centuries of silence. Archaeologists face immense challenges in piecing together these fragmented histories, working with sparse evidence, incomplete records, and the ever-present risk of misinterpretation. It's worth asking, what did these ancient people value most? Was it their connection to the cosmos, as seen in the precise alignments of their structures? Or was it their relationship with the land, the cycles of nature and the seasons? Perhaps it was something we can't even imagine, a world so different from ours that it defies easy understanding. And what about their fears? Were they driven by a need to protect themselves from unseen forces, or to honor deities they believed controlled their fate? As we reflect on these questions, it's humbling to realize how much of their story remains untold. But what we do know is this: their legacy is etched in stone, scattered across the globe. And that brings us to our next mystery: how these megalithic sites, built by different cultures thousands of miles apart, share striking similarities. From the rolling hills of England to the highlands of Peru, the echoes of these ancient builders resonate far and wide. But these towering stones aren't confined to one corner of the world. They're a global phenomenon scattered across continents and cultures. From the mysterious Dolmens of Korea, where massive stone slabs form ancient burial chambers, to the haunting menhirs of Brittany, standing like silent sentinels in the French countryside, megaliths span the globe. Each site tells a story, yet they all whisper a shared fascination with stone and its enduring power. What's truly remarkable is how these structures, separated by vast oceans and thousands of years, share striking similarities. Take the jar burial sites of Laos, where enormous stone jars carved from solid rock dot the landscape, their purpose still debated by archaeologists. Or the stone circles of Senegal, lesser known but no less awe-inspiring, where rings of upright stones echo the famous formations of Stonehenge. Were these designs the result of cultural exchanges, with ideas and techniques traveling along ancient trade routes? Or did different societies, entirely independent of one another, arrive at similar solutions to the mysteries of life, death, and the cosmos? The answer may lie somewhere in between. Some megalithic sites show clear evidence of shared influences, while others seem to have sprung from entirely local traditions. This duality between connection and independence adds another layer of intrigue to these ancient marvels. And as we ponder the how of their creation, another question naturally arises. Why? What drove these ancient peoples to invest so much time, effort, and resources into moving and shaping these colossal stones? To explore that, we'll turn our attention to the purpose and function of these sites, examining the theories that attempt to unlock their secrets. What if the towering stones of ancient megalithic sites were more than just monuments to the past? What if they were living, breathing spaces, serving purposes that evolved over centuries? The truth is, the function of these mysterious structures is still a puzzle, with theories ranging from the practical to the profoundly symbolic. Take, for example, the passage tombs of Ireland, like the famous Newgrange. Built over 5,000 years ago, this massive mound is aligned with the winter solstice sunrise, flooding its inner chamber with light for just a few minutes each year. Was it a tomb, a calendar, or perhaps a place of spiritual renewal? The answer might be all of the above. Across the English countryside, the stone circles of Avebury tell a different story. Unlike the solitary grandeur of Stonehenge, Avebury's sprawling arrangement of stones suggests a communal space, possibly used for gatherings, rituals, or even trade. Some researchers believe these circles served as astronomical markers, helping ancient societies track the seasons and celestial events. Others argue they were places of healing, where the energy of the earth was harnessed for spiritual or medicinal purposes. The truth is, these structures likely served multiple functions, adapting to the needs of the communities that built and maintained them. Experts have long debated the symbolic meanings behind these sites. Archaeologist Aubrey Burl, for instance, described megalithic monuments as the cathedrals of their time, places where the sacred and the everyday intertwined. The sheer effort required to move and erect these stones suggests they held immense cultural significance, whether as markers of territory, symbols of power, or gateways to the divine. Over time, their purposes may have shifted, reflecting changes in belief systems, technology, or even climate. What remains constant, though, is their ability to captivate us, drawing us into a world where stone and sky seem to speak the same language. As we ponder the why behind these ancient wonders, it's impossible not to wonder about the how. How did ancient peoples, without the tools or technology we take for granted, manage to construct such enduring monuments? What secrets lie hidden in the methods they used? These questions lead us to the next chapter of the story, where we'll explore the mysteries of their construction and the remarkable ingenuity that made it all possible. One of the most baffling questions surrounding ancient megalithic sites is this: how did civilizations thousands of years ago, without the aid of modern machinery or even the wheel, manage to construct such monumental structures? From the towering stones of Stonehenge to the colossal Moai statues of Easter Island, the sheer scale and precision of these creations defy easy explanation. The mystery of their construction has puzzled archaeologists, engineers, and historians for generations, sparking countless theories and debates. One widely accepted idea is that ancient builders relied heavily on ramps and levers. Imagine a massive stone block being dragged up a gradually sloping earthen ramp, inch by painstaking inch, using nothing but ropes, wooden sleds, and sheer human effort. This method, while labor-intensive, would have allowed workers to move and position enormous stones with remarkable precision. Evidence of such ramps has been found near some megalithic sites, offering tantalizing clues about the techniques used. But what about moving stones over long distances? Take the Moai of Easter Island, for example. These iconic statues, some weighing over 80 tons, were carved from volcanic rock and then transported miles across the island. How was this possible? Some theories suggest the use of wooden rollers or even a rocking motion, with teams of workers carefully shifting the statues forward in small increments. Others propose that the stones were slid along tracks lubricated with water or plant materials to reduce friction. Regardless of the method, the effort required would have been staggering, a testament to the determination and ingenuity of these ancient engineers. Of course, not all theories are so straightforward. Some researchers have speculated about the use of advanced, now lost technologies or even extraterrestrial intervention. While these ideas capture the imagination, most experts agree that the true answer lies in the resourcefulness and collaboration of ancient societies. These builders didn't just rely on physical strength, they also possessed an intimate understanding of materials, physics, and geometry, allowing them to achieve feats that still leave us in awe today. What's equally fascinating is the human element behind these monumental tasks. Imagine the sheer willpower it took to move a single massive stone, let alone hundreds or thousands. What drove these people to dedicate so much time, energy, and resources to such ambitious projects? The answers may lie not just in the physical methods they used, but in the cultural and spiritual significance of these sites, a topic we'll explore next as we delve into the role of megaliths in ancient rituals and beliefs. Megalithic sites weren't just impressive feats of engineering, they were deeply tied to the spiritual and ritualistic lives of the people who built them. Imagine standing in the shadow of a towering stone circle, feeling the weight of history and the echoes of ancient ceremonies. These sites were more than monuments, they were sacred spaces where communities gathered to connect with forces beyond their understanding. From offerings to sacrifices, these rituals were central to the worldview of ancient societies, shaping their beliefs and their relationship with the cosmos. Take the stone circles of Carnac in Scotland, for example. Standing on the windswept Isle of Lewis, these stones are arranged in a cross-like pattern, aligning with the movements of the moon. Scholars believe this site was a place of lunar worship, where rituals may have been performed during key celestial events. The placement of the stones suggests that the moon cycles held profound spiritual meaning, possibly tied to cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Could these ceremonies have been a way for ancient people to seek harmony with the natural world? The evidence certainly points in that direction. Similarly, the dolmens of the Caucasus region offer another fascinating glimpse into ancient rituals. These massive stone structures, often resembling tables or doorways, are thought to have been used as burial chambers or ceremonial spaces. Some researchers propose that they were sites of initiation rites, where young members of the community underwent trials to transition into adulthood. Others suggest they were places of sacrifice, where offerings were made to deities or ancestors in exchange for protection or prosperity. The exact purpose may remain shrouded in mystery, but the spiritual significance is undeniable. What's striking is how these rituals connected people not just to the divine, but to each other. In a world without written records, these ceremonies were a way to pass down knowledge, reinforce social bonds, and navigate the uncertainties of life. The megaliths themselves acted as anchors for these practices, their permanence symbolizing the enduring nature of the beliefs they represented. And while we may never fully understand the details of these rituals, the stones themselves tell a story, one of a people deeply attuned to the rhythms of the earth and the heavens. As we ponder the role of these ancient sites in ritual and ceremony, we're reminded of the universal human desire to seek meaning in the world around us. But the story doesn't end here. These stones also bear intricate carvings and symbols, hinting at a deeper layer of meaning, one that we'll explore next as we delve into the fascinating world of megalithic art and its hidden messages. The artistry etched into ancient megalithic structures is more than just decoration, it's a window into the minds of the people who created them. Across the world, from the spiral patterns at Newgrange in Ireland to the intricate animal carvings at Gerbikli Tepe in Turkey, these engravings tell stories that have endured for thousands of years. But what do they mean? Were they sacred symbols, maps of the heavens, or perhaps messages meant for future generations? Take the spirals at Newgrange, for example. These mesmerizing designs, carved into the stones of a tomb older than the pyramids, are believed to represent cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Some even suggest they could mirror the movement of celestial bodies, serving as a kind of ancient astronomical guide. Similarly, the animal figures at Göbekli Tepe, with their striking realism, might symbolize deities or spiritual guardians, hinting at a complex belief system that tied the natural world to the divine. What's fascinating is how these motifs appear across different cultures, separated by vast distances and timelines. Could there have been a shared understanding or a common thread linking these ancient peoples? Or were these symbols independently conceived, reflecting universal human experiences like the awe of the night sky or the mysteries of life and death? As we examine these carvings, we're left to wonder, what drove these ancient artists to invest so much time and effort into creating these enduring works? Were they meant to communicate with the gods, to honor the dead, or to leave a permanent mark for those who would come after? The answers may remain elusive, but the questions invite us to step into the minds of our ancestors and imagine the world as they saw it. This exploration of symbolism naturally leads us to another mystery. Why did these vibrant megalithic cultures eventually fade away? What forces, whether environmental, social, or spiritual, led to their decline? As we move forward, we'll uncover the clues left behind in the ruins of these once thriving societies. The story of megalithic cultures is one of awe-inspiring achievement, but it's also a tale shrouded in mystery, especially when we consider how these societies came to an end. What caused the decline of cultures that once built monumental stone structures, leaving behind legacies that still captivate us today? The answers are as complex as the societies themselves, and they point to a mix of environmental, social, and cultural shifts that reshaped the ancient world. One of the most compelling theories revolves around climate change. Around 4,000 years ago, many regions experienced significant shifts in weather patterns. Prolonged droughts, unpredictable seasons, and dwindling resources could have destabilized communities that relied heavily on agriculture. For societies that invested immense labor and resources into megalithic projects, these environmental challenges may have made such endeavors unsustainable. The stones, once symbols of power and faith, might have become burdens too heavy to bear. Another factor could have been invasions or migrations. As new groups moved into territories, they often brought with them different customs, technologies, and belief systems. Some megalithic sites show signs of violent destruction, while others were simply abandoned as the original builders were displaced or absorbed into new cultures. Yet, it's fascinating to note that not all megalithic sites fell into ruin. Many were repurposed by later civilizations who saw value in these ancient structures. For example, the Romans often incorporated standing stones into their own temples, blending old traditions with new. Shifts in religious practices also played a role. As societies evolved, so did their spiritual beliefs. The rituals and ceremonies tied to megalithic sites might have lost their relevance over time, leading to their gradual abandonment. Some sites became places of folklore or myth, their original purposes forgotten but their mystique enduring. This raises an intriguing question. What happens to a culture's legacy when its sacred spaces are no longer used as intended? The decline of megalithic cultures wasn't uniform. It varied from region to region, shaped by local conditions and historical events. What's clear is that these societies left an indelible mark on the world. Their structures, whether abandoned or repurposed, continue to inspire wonder and speculation. What lessons can we learn from their rise and fall, and how did their innovations influence the civilizations that followed? As we ponder these questions, we're reminded that the story of megalithic cultures doesn't end with their decline. In fact, their legacy lives on, not just in the stones they left behind, but in the ways modern societies interpret and connect with these ancient sites. And that brings us to our next chapter. How do we, in the 21st century, make sense of these enigmatic structures? What do they mean to us today? The answers may surprise you. Modern societies have found themselves at a crossroads when it comes to megalithic sites. These ancient marvels are not just relics of the past, but living testaments to human ingenuity and perseverance. Today, they serve as bridges between history and the present, drawing millions of visitors each year who come to witness their grandeur firsthand. Tourism has become a double-edged sword for these sites. On one hand, it brings awareness and funding for preservation efforts, but on the other, it risks causing wear and tear from foot traffic, vandalism, and even misguided attempts at restoration. Places like Stonehenge and the Moai statues of Easter Island have become global icons, but their popularity comes with a price. How do we balance public access with the need to protect these fragile structures for future generations? Archaeologists and historians continue to uncover new insights about these sites, using cutting-edge technology like ground-penetrating radar and three-dimensional mapping. These tools allow us to see beyond the surface, revealing hidden chambers, alignments with celestial events, and even clues about the societies that built them. Yet, as we learn more, we're also confronted with the sobering reality of their vulnerability. Climate change poses a growing threat with rising sea levels, extreme weather, and shifting ecosystems endangering coastal sites like those in Malta or the Caribbean. Urban development, too, encroaches on these ancient spaces, forcing us to ask tough questions about what we value as a society. Are we willing to sacrifice progress to preserve the past? Or can we find a way to coexist with these timeless monuments? Beyond their scientific and historical significance, megalithic sites hold a deeper cultural resonance. They remind us of humanity's shared heritage transcending borders and time. For many indigenous communities, these structures are sacred spaces, imbued with spiritual meaning and stories passed down through generations. Their preservation isn't just about protecting stones, it's about honoring the voices and traditions of those who came before us. This raises an important question. What can we learn from the builders of these sites? Their ability to create enduring works with limited technology speaks to a level of collaboration, vision, and respect for the natural world that feels almost revolutionary in today's fast-paced, disposable culture. As we reflect on the lessons of the past, it's impossible not to wonder about the mysteries that still surround these sites. What drove ancient cultures to invest so much time and effort into these monumental projects? How did they achieve such precision without the tools we take for granted today? These questions lead us to the next chapter of our journey, where we'll explore some of the most enigmatic megalithic sites on Earth, places that continue to defy explanation and spark the imagination of all who encounter them. Standing on the windswept Salisbury Plain in England, Stonehenge rises like a sentinel from the past, its towering stones casting long shadows over centuries of human curiosity. This iconic megalithic site, composed of massive upright stones arranged in a circular pattern, has captivated imaginations for generations. But what makes Stonehenge so extraordinary isn't just its grandeur. It's the sheer mystery of how such a monumental structure was built over 4,000 years ago, long before the advent of modern tools or machinery. The construction of Stonehenge is a marvel in itself. The largest stones, known as sarsens, weigh up to 25 tons each, while the smaller blue stones, sourced from over 150 miles away in Wales, still tip the scales at several tons. How did ancient people transport these colossal stones across such vast distances? Theories range from the use of sledges and rollers to the possibility of river transport, but the exact methods remain a subject of debate. Even more astonishing is the precision with which these stones were placed, forming alignments that seem to correspond with celestial events. This brings us to one of the most enduring questions about Stonehenge: what was its purpose? Some researchers believe it served as an ancient astronomical observatory designed to track the movements of the sun and moon. The alignment of the stones with the solstices, particularly the summer solstice sunrise, suggests a deep understanding of celestial cycles. Others argue that Stonehenge was a sacred site for rituals, possibly linked to the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Excavations have revealed human remains, hinting at its use as a burial ground or a place of pilgrimage. Adding to the intrigue is the cultural significance of Stonehenge. For the people who built it, this monument was more than just a collection of stones. It was a symbol of power, spirituality, and communal effort. Its construction would have required not only immense physical labor, but also a shared vision and cooperation among a large group of people. This raises another fascinating question. What drove these ancient communities to invest so much time and energy into creating such a structure? Was it purely religious, or did it also serve as a statement of unity and strength? Today, Stonehenge continues to fascinate us, not just as a relic of the past, but as a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. Its enigmatic presence invites us to ponder the lives of those who built it and the beliefs that inspired them. Why does this ancient site still hold such a powerful grip on our collective imagination? Perhaps it's the way it bridges the gap between the earthly and the celestial, offering a glimpse into a world where the physical and the spiritual were deeply intertwined. As we leave the mystery of Stonehenge behind, another ancient marvel beckons, one that predates even this iconic monument. Nestled in modern-day Turkey, Göbekli Tepe challenges everything we thought we knew about the dawn of civilization. Its discovery has rewritten the story of human history, and its secrets are just as tantalizing as those of Stonehenge. What could this ancient site reveal about our ancestors and their world? The answers may surprise you. Nestled in the rolling hills of southeastern Turkey lies a site that has rewritten the history books, Göbekli Tepe. This ancient marvel, dating back over 11,000 years, predates Stonehenge by more than 6 millennia and stands as the oldest known temple in the world. Its discovery in the 1990s sent shockwaves through the archaeological community, challenging long-held assumptions about the capabilities of early human societies. Who built this monumental site and why? What drove these ancient people to carve and erect massive stone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, without the use of metal tools or even the wheel? The answers remain as enigmatic as the site itself. The construction of Göbekli Tepe is nothing short of extraordinary. Its circular enclosures, each featuring towering T-shaped pillars, were meticulously arranged and adorned with intricate carvings of animals, symbols, and abstract designs. These carvings are more than just decorative, they are a window into the minds of the people who created them. Some researchers believe the depictions of predators and prey might reflect early spiritual beliefs, possibly tied to hunting rituals or ancestor worship. Others suggest the site could have served as a gathering place for rituals or ceremonies, a hub where early humans came together to forge communal bonds and share knowledge. But with no written records to guide us, the true purpose of Göbekli Tepe remains shrouded in mystery. Interpreting the carvings is no easy task. The symbols etched into the stone are open to countless interpretations, each offering a glimpse into the worldview of a society that existed long before the advent of agriculture or permanent settlements. What does a snake coiled around a pillar signify? Could the carvings of vultures hint at early funerary practices? These questions invite us to rethink our understanding of human history. Göbekli Tepe challenges the notion that complex societies only emerged after the development of farming. Instead, it suggests that spirituality and communal effort may have played a pivotal role in shaping early human culture. As we ponder the significance of this ancient site, one thing becomes clear. Göbekli Tepe is a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of our ancestors. Its existence forces us to reconsider the timeline of human progress and the forces that drove our species to create such monumental works. What does this site reveal about the dawn of human civilization? How did these early people organize themselves to achieve such a feat? The answers may lie buried beneath the sands of time, waiting for future discoveries to shed light on their secrets. And speaking of monumental works, our journey through the mysteries of the ancient world takes us next to a place equally shrouded in intrigue, the remote island of Rapa Nui, better known as Easter Island. Here, the towering Moai statues stand as silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of a civilization that thrived in isolation for centuries. How did they carve and transport these colossal figures? What drove them to create such awe-inspiring monuments? The story of the Moai is one of resilience, ingenuity, and a connection to the land that continues to captivate us to this day. The Moai of Easter Island stand as one of the most iconic and mysterious creations of the ancient world. These towering stone figures, some weighing over 80 tons, are scattered across the island, gazing inland with an almost haunting presence. But how were these massive statues carved, transported, and erected by a civilization with no modern tools or machinery? The process itself is a marvel. The Rapa Nui people carved the Moai directly from the volcanic rock of Raraku using stone tools called toki. Once completed, the statues were transported across the island, some as far as 11 miles, on wooden sledges or by rocking them forward in a walking motion. The sheer effort and ingenuity behind this feat are staggering, especially when you consider the limited resources available at the time. But why were the Moai created in the first place? Many theories suggest they were built to honor ancestors, serving as a bridge between the living and the spiritual world. Others believe they functioned as territorial markers, symbolizing the power and prestige of competing clans. Some even propose they were part of a complex system of resource management, designed to maintain harmony on an island with limited arable land. Each theory offers a glimpse into the Rapa Nui's worldview, but the true purpose of the Moai remains shrouded in mystery. The story of the Moai is also intertwined with the decline of the Rapa Nui civilization. Did the relentless construction of these statues contribute to the island's deforestation and resource depletion? Or were external factors like European contact and the introduction of diseases the primary culprits? These questions linger, leaving us to wonder how a society capable of such monumental achievements could eventually collapse. As we ponder the secrets of the Moai, it's impossible not to marvel at the resilience and creativity of the Rapa Nui people. Their legacy endures not only in the stone giants that still stand, but also in the questions they inspire about human ingenuity and the fragility of civilizations. And speaking of enduring mysteries, our next journey takes us to the windswept plains of France, where the Carnac stones stretch across the landscape in enigmatic rows. What stories do these ancient stones hold, and what secrets might they reveal about the people who placed them there? Stretching across the landscape of Brittany, France, the Carnac stones stand as one of the most enigmatic relics of the Neolithic world. Over 3,000 standing stones, arranged in long, precise rows, create a spectacle that has baffled archaeologists and historians for centuries. Some of these stones tower over 4 meters high, while others are smaller but equally mysterious in their placement. What could have driven ancient people to move and align these massive stones with such care and purpose? Theories about the Carnac stones are as varied as they are fascinating. One popular belief is that these stones served as a kind of ancient astronomical calendar, their alignments marking significant celestial events like solstices and equinoxes. Imagine standing among these stones thousands of years ago, watching the sun rise or set in perfect alignment with the rose. Such precision suggests a deep understanding of the cosmos long before modern science. Another compelling theory ties the stones to religious or ceremonial practices, possibly as a place for rituals honoring the dead or celebrating the cycles of nature. Legends, too, have grown around these stones, adding layers of mystery to their origins. One tale speaks of a Roman legion marching through the area, only to be turned to stone by the sorcery of a local druid. Another myth suggests the stones are the remains of giants who once roamed the earth, frozen in place by the gods. While these stories are captivating, they also remind us of how ancient people sought to explain the unexplainable, weaving narratives that connected their world to the divine. But beyond the myths and theories, the Carnac stones invite us to reflect on the ingenuity of their builders. How did Neolithic communities without modern tools or technology manage to quarry, transport, and erect these stones? What knowledge and skills were passed down through generations to achieve such a feat? The stones are not just relics of the past, they are a testament to the creativity and determination of humanity's earliest civilizations. As we marvel at the Carnac stones, our journey through ancient megalithic wonders continues. Next, we'll travel to the other side of the world, where the Dolmens of Korea reveal another chapter in humanity's enduring fascination with stone and its connection to the mysteries of life, death, and the cosmos. Nestled across the Korean peninsula, the ancient Dolmens of Korea stand as silent sentinels of a time long past. These massive stone structures, some of the largest in the world, are more than just impressive feats of engineering. They are windows into the lives and beliefs of the people who built them. Scattered across the landscape, particularly in regions like Gochang, Hwasun, and Ganghwa, these dolmens have sparked curiosity and wonder for centuries. But what exactly are they, and why were they erected with such precision and care? The construction of Korean dolmens is a testament to the ingenuity of ancient societies. Typically, these structures consist of 2 or more upright stones supporting a massive capstone, creating a chamber-like space beneath. Some weigh dozens of tons, raising the question, how did people thousands of years ago, without modern tools or machinery, move and position these colossal stones? Theories suggest they may have used wooden rollers, ropes, and sheer human effort, but the exact methods remain shrouded in mystery. What's clear, though, is that these dolmens were not built casually. They were deliberate, purposeful creations. For the ancient Koreans, dolmens served as burial sites, marking the resting places of important individuals or leaders. The sheer scale of these structures suggests a deep cultural reverence for the deceased, as well as a belief in an afterlife or spiritual continuity. Some dolmens are found in clusters, indicating they may have been part of larger ceremonial or communal spaces. The artifacts discovered near them, pottery, tools, and ceremonial objects, paint a vivid picture of the rituals and traditions that surrounded death in these ancient societies. But the significance of Korean dolmens extends beyond their role as burial sites. They also offer clues about the social and political structures of the time. Many of these structures are linked to the early Korean kingdoms, such as Gojoseon, which flourished around 2,000 years ago. The dolmens may have symbolized power, serving as markers of territory or monuments to the authority of ruling elites. In this way, they are not just relics of the dead, but also symbols of the living representations of a society's identity and aspirations. What makes Korean dolmens particularly fascinating is how they compare to similar structures found elsewhere in the world. From the dolmens of Western Europe to those in India, these megalithic monuments appear across continents, separated by vast distances and time. Why did so many ancient cultures with no apparent connection to one another develop such similar architectural forms? Were they inspired by shared human instincts, or is there a deeper, more mysterious link between these distant civilizations? The answers remain elusive, but the questions themselves invite us to explore the interconnectedness of ancient human societies. As we marvel at the dolmens of Korea, we're reminded of the universal human desire to honor the past and leave a lasting legacy. These stones, weathered by time yet still standing, are more than just markers of graves. They are testaments to the ingenuity, spirituality, and resilience of the people who built them. And as we turn our gaze from the dolmens of Korea, we find ourselves drawn to another enigmatic set of stone structures far across the globe, the stone circles of Africa. What secrets do they hold, and how do they echo or diverge from the stories of the dolmens? The journey continues, and the mysteries only deepen. While many associate megalithic monuments with Europe or Asia, Africa holds its own fascinating secrets carved in stone. Scattered across Senegal and Gambia, ancient stone circles stand as silent witnesses to a past that still whispers through the traditions of local communities. These circles, often overlooked in mainstream discussions, are a testament to the ingenuity and spiritual depth of ancient African societies. Unlike the towering monoliths of Stonehenge or the intricate carvings of Göbekli Tepe, the stone circles here are more understated, yet no less profound. Built with precision, their placement and alignment suggest a deep understanding of both the land and the cosmos. The Senegambian stone circles, as they're often called, consist of dozens of sites with thousands of stones arranged in circular patterns. Some of these stones weigh several tons, yet they were transported and erected without modern machinery. How did ancient people achieve this? The answer lies in their communal efforts and sophisticated knowledge of engineering. But it's not just the construction that intrigues researchers, it's the purpose behind these circles. Many believe they served as burial sites, with each circle marking the resting place of a prominent individual. Others suggest they were used for rituals, acting as sacred spaces where communities gathered to honor their ancestors or align with celestial events. What makes these sites even more compelling is their connection to local traditions. In some areas, the descendants of the builders still hold ceremonies near these stones, maintaining a link to their ancestral past. This continuity reminds us that these monuments aren't just relics of a bygone era, they're living parts of cultural heritage. Yet, despite their significance, many of these circles remain understudied, raising questions about the broader diversity of megalithic sites across Africa. Why do some regions receive more attention than others, and what other mysteries might still lie hidden beneath the soil? As we explore these questions, our journey through the ancient world takes us to another continent where the megaliths of South America await. From the towering statues of Easter Island to the enigmatic ruins of Tiwanaku, these sites offer yet another layer of intrigue in the story of humanity's past. But that's a tale for the next chapter. South America's megalithic sites are nothing short of awe-inspiring, standing as testaments to the ingenuity and skill of ancient civilizations. Take Sacsayhuaman, for instance, a fortress perched high above the city of Cusco in Peru. Its massive limestone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, are cut and fitted together with such precision that not even a sheet of paper can slide between them. The question that baffles researchers and visitors alike is this: how did the Inca, or perhaps even their predecessors, achieve such perfection without modern tools? The curved walls and interlocking stones suggest an advanced understanding of engineering, yet the exact methods remain a mystery. Then there's Puma Punku, part of the larger Tiwanaku complex in Bolivia. This site is a marvel of stonework, with its finely carved blocks featuring intricate geometric patterns and perfectly straight edges. Some of these stones are made of andesite, a material so hard that even today, cutting it with such precision would be a challenge. The level of craftsmanship here has led to endless speculation about the people who built it. Were they master stonemasons, or did they possess knowledge and technology that we've yet to fully comprehend? What's equally fascinating is the cultural significance of these sites. Sacsayhuaman was not just a military stronghold but also a ceremonial center, deeply tied to the Inca's spiritual beliefs. Puma Punku, on the other hand, is thought to have been a hub of religious and cosmological importance, possibly serving as a gateway between the earthly and divine realms. Both locations reflect the profound connection ancient societies had with their environment, their gods, and the cosmos. But here's where it gets even more intriguing: the similarities between these South American sites and megalithic structures found in other parts of the world. The precision stonework at Puma Punku, for example, echoes the techniques seen in ancient Egypt or even Gerbikli Tepe in Turkey. Could there have been a shared knowledge or influence that spanned continents? While mainstream archaeology suggests these civilizations developed independently, the parallels are hard to ignore and continue to fuel debates about ancient global connections. As we ponder these mysteries, it's worth considering how these monumental structures might have served as more than just spiritual or defensive sites. Could they have also played a role in the vast trade networks that connected ancient civilizations? The clues might lie in the materials used, the locations chosen, and the cultural exchanges hinted at in the artifacts left behind. And that's where our journey takes us next, to explore how megaliths might have been integral to the flow of goods, ideas, and people across the ancient world. Across vast stretches of ancient landscapes, megalithic sites were more than just monuments, they were hubs of connection. Imagine standing at the edge of a stone circle in the Arabian Peninsula, its towering slabs casting long shadows over the desert. These structures weren't just impressive feats of engineering, they were part of a larger network that tied distant communities together. In a world without maps or GPS, how did ancient traders and travelers find their way? The answer might lie in the very stones they left behind. Megaliths often served as vital markers along ancient trade routes. In regions like the Arabian Peninsula, stone circles and alignments may have acted as waypoints, guiding caravans through harsh terrains. Similarly, in the Caucasus, Dolmen's massive stone tombs dot the landscape, not just as burial sites but also as symbols of power and territorial control. These structures could have signaled safe passage or marked the boundaries of a tribe's influence, creating a sense of order in a chaotic world. But these sites were more than just practical tools, they were also places of cultural exchange. Picture traders from distant lands gathering near a megalith, sharing goods, stories, and ideas. The stones themselves might have carried symbolic meaning, reflecting the beliefs and values of the people who built them. Could the alignment of certain megaliths have signaled the arrival of a trading season or a time of celebration? These questions remind us that these sites were deeply woven into the economic and spiritual fabric of ancient societies. As we reflect on the role of megaliths in trade networks, one thing becomes clear: these structures were more than just stone. They were bridges between worlds, connecting people across vast distances and fostering the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. And as we look ahead, it's worth asking, how do we ensure that these ancient sites continue to tell their stories in a modern world? This leads us to the next chapter: the challenges and triumphs of preserving megalithic sites for future generations. As we marvel at the towering stones and intricate carvings of ancient megalithic sites, it's easy to forget just how fragile these ancient wonders truly are. In the modern world, preserving these monumental structures is no small feat. They face threats from all sides, some natural, others man-made, and each challenge requires careful thought and action to ensure these treasures endure for future generations. One of the most pressing issues is the impact of tourism. While visitors bring awareness and funding to these sites, the sheer volume of foot traffic can take a toll. Imagine thousands of people walking across the same ground year after year. Over time, the soil erodes and the foundations of these ancient structures can shift, putting them at risk of collapse. In some cases, well-meaning tourists even touch or climb on the stones, causing irreversible damage. It's a delicate balance. How do we share these wonders with the world while also protecting them from the wear and tear of human interaction? Then there's the growing threat of climate change. Rising temperatures, increased rainfall, and extreme weather events are altering the landscapes around these sites. For example, in coastal areas, megalithic structures are at risk of being swallowed by rising sea levels or battered by stronger storms. Inland, shifting weather patterns can lead to soil erosion or flooding, destabilizing the ground these ancient stones stand on. It's a race against time to adapt preservation techniques to these new environmental challenges. Urban development adds another layer of complexity. As cities expand, ancient sites often find themselves in the path of progress. Roads, buildings, and infrastructure projects can encroach on these sacred spaces, sometimes leading to their destruction. In some cases, entire sites have been lost to make way for modern development. This raises important questions. How do we prioritize the preservation of the past in a world that's constantly looking to the future? Despite these challenges, there's hope. Archaeologists, historians, and local communities are working tirelessly to protect these sites. Cutting-edge technology like 3D scanning and digital mapping is being used to document every detail of these structures, creating a permanent record that can help guide restoration efforts. In some places, local communities have taken the lead, educating visitors and advocating for sustainable tourism practices. These grassroots efforts are crucial as they ensure that the people who live closest to these sites have a voice in their preservation. But the question remains, how do we strike the right balance between preserving these ancient sites and making them accessible to the public? Should we limit access to protect them, or do we risk losing something vital if we cut off the connection between these stones and the people who come to see them? It's a conversation that's ongoing, and one that requires input from experts, communities, and visitors alike. As we consider the future of these ancient sites, it's clear that the work of preserving them is far from over. And that leads us to wonder, what does the future hold for megalithic research? How might new discoveries and technologies change the way we understand these ancient structures? Stay with us because in the next section, we'll explore the exciting possibilities on the horizon for uncovering the secrets of these monumental mysteries. As we stand on the brink of a new era in archaeology, the future of megalithic research holds incredible promise. Imagine a world where the secrets buried beneath centuries of soil and vegetation are brought to light, not through decades of painstaking excavation, but through the lens of cutting-edge technology. Tools like LiDAR, which uses laser pulses to map terrain in astonishing detail, are already revolutionizing how we study these ancient sites. Hidden beneath dense forests or obscured by modern development, structures that were once invisible to the naked eye are now being revealed with breathtaking clarity. This technology is not just uncovering new sites, it's reshaping our understanding of how these ancient societies organized their landscapes, connected their communities, and expressed their beliefs. Another game changer is 3D modeling, which allows researchers to recreate megalithic structures in stunning detail, offering a virtual window into the past. By scanning and reconstructing these sites, archaeologists can analyze them from every angle, uncovering patterns and details that might have been missed in traditional fieldwork. These digital reconstructions also provide a way to preserve these fragile sites, ensuring that even if time or human activity damages them, their legacy remains intact for future generations. But it's not just technology driving this new wave of discovery. Ongoing excavations around the world continue to unearth artifacts and structures that challenge our assumptions. In places like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey or the newly discovered megalithic circles in Indonesia, each find adds a new piece to the puzzle, forcing us to rethink what we know about the origins of civilization. How did these ancient builders achieve such precision without modern tools? What stories were these stones meant to tell? And perhaps most intriguing of all, what secrets are still waiting to be uncovered? As we look to the future, it's impossible not to wonder about the mysteries that remain. What drove these ancient cultures to invest so much time and effort into creating these monumental structures? Were they temples, observatories, or something else entirely? The answers to these questions may lie just beneath the surface, waiting for the right combination of technology, curiosity, and perseverance to bring them to light. And as we continue to explore, we're reminded that the story of megalithic cultures is far from over. It's a story that's still being written, one discovery at a time. This journey into the future of megalithic research isn't just about uncovering the past. It's about understanding what these ancient cultures can teach us about resilience, ingenuity, and the human spirit. And that brings us to the next chapter in our exploration, reflecting on the enduring lessons of these remarkable civilizations. Megalithic cultures, with their awe-inspiring monuments and profound connection to the natural world, offer us more than just a glimpse into ancient history. They provide timeless lessons for our modern lives. These societies, often operating with limited technology, achieved feats that still baffle engineers and archaeologists today. Their ingenuity reminds us that innovation isn't solely about advanced tools. It's about vision, collaboration, and a deep understanding of the environment. One of the most striking qualities of these ancient builders was their resilience. Whether carving massive stones in the Andes or aligning structures with celestial precision in Europe, they worked with determination and adaptability. Their ability to thrive in challenging conditions speaks to a resourcefulness that we can draw inspiration from, especially as we face our own global challenges today. But perhaps the most profound lesson lies in their relationship with the natural world. Megalithic cultures didn't just build monuments, they wove their creations into the fabric of the earth. Sites like Stonehenge and Göbekli Tepe reflect a harmony with the environment, a respect for the cycles of nature, and a recognition of humanity's place within a larger cosmic order. In an age where we often feel disconnected from the natural world, their example invites us to reconsider how we interact with our planet. Preserving these ancient sites isn't just about protecting stones and structures, it's about safeguarding the stories, knowledge, and values they embody. These monuments are a bridge to our shared human heritage, reminding us of the creativity and wisdom of those who came before. They challenge us to ask, what can we learn from their example? How can we honor their legacy while forging a path forward that's just as innovative and sustainable? As we reflect on these questions, it's impossible not to feel a sense of connection not just to the past but to the future. The lessons of megalithic cultures urge us to think beyond the immediate, to consider the long-term impact of our actions, and to build with purpose and care. Their legacy is a testament to what humanity can achieve when we work together, respect our environment, and strive for something greater than ourselves. With these reflections in mind, we're reminded that the story of megalithic cultures isn't just about ancient stones. It's about the enduring spirit of human ingenuity and the timeless quest to understand our place in the world. And as we bring this exploration to a close, we'll tie together the threads of this journey, revisiting the key themes that make these ancient sites so captivating and relevant to our lives today. As we come to the end of our journey through the enigmatic world of ancient megalithic sites, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered. These colossal stone structures, scattered across the globe from Stonehenge to Göbekli Tepe, are more than just remnants of the past. They are windows into the minds and lives of the civilizations that built them. We've explored their origins, from the precise engineering required to move and arrange massive stones to the possible purposes behind their construction, whether as astronomical observatories, sacred burial sites, or spaces for communal gatherings. Each site tells a story not just of the people who built it, but of their connection to the cosmos, their environment, and each other. What makes these sites so captivating is not just their scale or complexity, but the mysteries they still hold. How did ancient people, without the tools and technology we have today, achieve such feats of engineering? What drove them to invest so much time, effort, and resources into these monumental projects? And what messages, if any, were they trying to leave for future generations? These questions remind us that while we've made incredible strides in understanding our past, there's still so much to learn. Beyond their historical and architectural significance, megalithic sites hold a deeper cultural importance. They are symbols of human ingenuity, resilience, and the universal desire to create something enduring. They connect us to our ancestors, reminding us of the shared human experience that transcends time and geography. But as modern development encroaches on these ancient wonders, preserving them becomes more critical than ever. These sites are not just relics of the past, they are treasures for the future, offering lessons in sustainability, community, and the power of collective effort. To close, let's turn to the words of Carl Sagan, who once said, "Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known." That sense of wonder and curiosity is what drives us to explore these ancient marvels, to uncover their secrets, and to marvel at the ingenuity of those who came before us. So, as we wrap up, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which megalithic site fascinates you the most? Have you visited any of these places, or do you dream of seeing them one day? Share your stories and ideas in the comments below. And if you're as captivated by these historical mysteries as I am, don't forget to subscribe and join me on this journey through the wonders of our past. Together, let's keep exploring, learning, and preserving the legacy of these ancient builders, because their story is, in many ways, our story too.